Alright, I have a couple pieces of material I got from Spoon Flower. They're, custom printed 1 yard at a time. That means that it comes in a pretty easy to reference square. That's the double pin there. I am going to make placemats out of this. So, first thing I did was cut my yard in half, so it's 18 inches here. And then there, that's the extra pin I used to pin both ends together here. Placemats are another thing that you can just kind of make without a lot of pattern action. The key is just remembering which way to fold them as you go. So this is, and I just measured this and forgot what it is. This is after printing, this is a 42-inch wide pattern, and I want to make 6 placemats. The main is 18 inches wide, so 42 divided by 3 is 14. Well, I'll trim things roughly and then I'll pin up and do a final trim once I have all of the rough cuts done here. Alright, those are going to make pretty good placemats. I do need to iron all these flat so I can size them together. So I guess I'm going to have to get out my ironing board. Alright, well, we've reached the point where I can't avoid ironing for these projects, so this is why I dislike ironing. I just don't have a good place to do it. I have to throw a towel out on my kitchen counter. Okay, got our stack of pieces for placemats, and now it's time to pin them up. And we're pinning good sides together. the spot to turn these right side out. Since these are iron, I'm just letting them, once I got that first side starting to match, I'm letting it flop together. Doesn't quite match on this corner, but it's all very flat. And I'll put the first stitch in and have to turn and iron these again and then top stitch them together. But since these are supposed to be flat, that's why it's entirely about ironing the entire. Okay. Stitch up these placemats, and anytime I'm going to turn something, I try to start at one side of the turning hole. Okay, now I got to turn these, so grab the hole in the middle, and when I turn, like to get one of my far corners here. Out the hole first. But it's all about picking a place to get started, and you need to have a dowel or a stick or a chopstick for your corners. Alright, and to make sure you get the corner completely turned, the end of my chopstick is here, and just push your stick or whatever into the seam from one side, and then take and do the same on the other side of the corner. So start and push up into the seam, and then just push there. And those two corners all those corners are poked out. I'm going to give it one more poke to this corner. There we go. Now I got to iron, well, I got to turn the other 5 of these and then iron these and top stitch them. And that will be a lovely little placemat. Alright, time to top stitch the actually, this machine allows me to pull the needle all the way over so that I can use the whole foot and stitch on the far right hand side of the thing, so I'm gonna do that. Alright, there we go. One top stitch around the edge, And this is the spot where I turned it, so there's a little bit of a wider gap because the stitch starts and ends there, but otherwise looking good. Okay, so I picked a long zigzag triple stitch, which you can see is it's pretty far between the zigzags. That's the little bit of kind of decorative stitching I did around the edge. It looks pretty okay, just because it's black and it blends into the dark fabric. So that is going to do the trick for these. If I had been a bit more careful top stitching, I might not have needed to do that to keep the edges together, but that is what I'm going to do to solve that problem. And I could do a more decorative stitch, but then I need to find a good color and really like commit to, or I could do another decorative stitch, but I'd have to find a color and really commit to it, and I don't want to commit to having the offset color on that decorative stitch, because then you have to work to make the corners match up better and all kinds of stuff. So